incredible. Maria?
Amazing. Thanks a lot, Courtney. What numbers? Really mind-boggling. Let's get to the closing bell exchange. We got our team covering each end of this market here, looking at what's behind the market swings. And joining myself and Bill, we've got Sue Herrera at CNBC headquarters in Englewood Cliffs. Seema Modi is standing by at the NASDAQ. And Brian Shackman over at the NYMEX today. And Sue, we had major moves not only in the stock market, but fears about the European contagion hit the U.S. and that sent the dollar higher today. What are you seeing in currencies?
You know, it's been an amazing day in currencies. Swings that I know we've seen in the equities markets, but you very rarely see in the currency markets. And we saw some of those today. The dollar was stronger for much of today's trading session. And then the euro took over when the European officials came out and talked about the fact that they would be willing to backstop Italian and Spanish bonds if indeed austerity measures were put in place. That switched things around, and we saw a huge rally in the euro, which came really at the cost of most of the other major currencies that the euro competes against. The Swiss franc also this morning was extremely strong. Didn't seem like that cut in interest rates weakened that currency for very long, did it? And then, of course, the euro took over once again. It was the main currency of the afternoon. The question is whether or not that we're going to see that switch around late in the day, because there still is some doubt. It's going to be a very tense weekend for currency traders. There's doubt as to whether or not all of those measures can be agreed upon and put in place in time to stop the bleeding, Maria, from some of those banks over in Italy and Spain. So the clock is still ticking. We may have a solution, but the question is whether or not they can dot the I's and cross the T's in time.
And everyone's trying to figure out what kind of exposure the U.S. banks have to the European situation. You know, some days we feel like it's not much, and then others we see real impact. We saw an impact on technology earlier, seeing a wild swings at the NASDAQ. What's the situation now?
Definitely a volatile day here at the NASDAQ. We have retail stocks that are actually leading the decline. Stocks like Lululemon down 4%, Ross Stores also down around 1%, really ignoring that upbeat retail sales data that we saw yesterday. And then when we take a look at tech stocks, of course, there is a mixed bag. We have stocks like eBay, which are down around 2% at last time I checked, and then we have Cisco doing considerably well, up around 0.3%, and then